right, let's go. We are live. Look at that. Ugh. Let's do it. One concurrent viewer, that's probably me. Champ is suspended because of his nose. It's not 100% yet. They're saying that they think his nose, I don't know. They said unless he gets some kind of updated, clean nose test, he's out for 6. So that sucks because that, what do you even? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he would. Maybe they would fight inside. When did he fight Colby? I'm trying to think if that was inside 6 months ago. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, who did I bang for this info? Who do you think? Ariel, dog. I tapped that ass something mean. Oh, it's clickbait? Is it? Why don't you Google it, you fucking idiot? Jesus. Or here, I'll just show you. Oh wait, where'd he go? Yeah, he's suspended because of his nose. He's got a broken nose. He's got a 6-month suspension because yeah, it's a medical suspension. Like he had the longest one out of anybody from. I don't know. See that? I don't know if George broke his nose. It wasn't clear. It says that. It says here. Hang on, I'll pull it up right now. Again. I didn't come back on Wednesday because I had a chaos situation with my fucking kids. Hang on. All right. So where did that go? All right. 251 medical suspensions. All right. So. So it says he's out for 6, or until, so he's got a 6-month suspension unless he gets a clear nasal x-ray. So something has to happen for them to nullify the 6, but as of now, he's out 6 months. Yeah, like, I don't know. Did the stream die? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, pay-per-view did awesome because Jorge Masvidal was on it and everybody wanted to see him win. Woodley versus Diaz. Fuck, that's actually, I really like that fight. I think it's a great fight for Woodley. Diaz is going to bring that fight to him. He's, like the tough matchup for Woodley is a guy who is going to constantly pressure him and kind of invade his space to where if they get in close enough to where he can throw that overhand right, they're already in on him and they're making it uncomfortable. And like, he has to fear their power. With Nate can't really take him down. And he's more like repetitive, like just I don't know. I think that's a tough fight for Diaz, I think. Top 4 contenders have to fight each other because. Yeah, dude, Gilbert is pissed, man. 6-month suspension, that sucks. What's up, Mike? Umar Nurmagomedov, cousin of Khabib, fighting in. I'm not sure. It sounds like a ghost, the mic does. Dude, I turned it way the fuck down. Mic feedback again? What the fuck, man? All right, I'm gonna fuck with some shit here, and you guys tell me what happens. All right, so test number 1. What does that do? I might have like just shut myself all the way off. What does that do? Like what's happening right now with my audio? The mic can't handle the goat on the mic yet. It's better. This is better. Oh wow! All right. Fucking unreal. All right. That's bizarre, dude. So I had like on my streaming, there are two. It's like the audio mixer, and it's like audio input and then mic auxiliary. I assumed you need fucking both of them, but apparently it was capturing my voice twice. Like apparently. Damn, no, I missed fucking Jesse on Ghost voice. Yeah, no, if that fixes it, then I know exactly what was going on before, and we're good. There's no that will never happen again. Then that is excellent. I thought I was taking like a radical approach to solving this problem. Usman broken nose. It looks like suspended six months or until cleared by nasal X-ray. Whatever the fuck that means. I didn't know. I mean, when a guy breaks his nose, I mean, that's usually pretty fucking evident in a fight, man. Like, like that you bleed a lot out of a broken nose. But fuck, man, you guys know how painful that is, right? Like, that's one of those things where when a fighter fights through a broken nose, I'm just like, God damn, man. That is, I mean, that is one of the most painful fucking things. Darren Till versus Mike Perry is a big fight that they'll make if Darren Till loses his next fight, because Darren Till is a guy that they want to have he's like, you got Izzy. Izzy's a huge draw. Darren Till's a huge draw. He's a guy that they want to give an opportunity to win the belt because he'll sell some fucking pay-per-views, dude. That as a matter of fact, of every fighter actively in the UFC that's not Conor, Till is the guy who, if things lined up correctly, would be the next Conor McGregor. Like, he's the only one I could see that could actually be Conor McGregor, is Darren Till. But he needs to start calling his shots, and he needs to start winning. And he needs to start, and not just, I mean, he needs to be knocking people out. I mean, that's like the, thank you, H2O. That's the, if you look at the difference between Conor, like Conor was like Darren Till, Darren Till was like, I'm on a mission, like I'm the greatest in the world. I'm on a mission, like prior to the Woodley fight, he was so fucking confident. But the difference between him and Conor was the same way, but then Conor was dirt napping everyone, like Conor was dirt napping everyone. I don't know. I've never broken my jaw. But hey, speaking of that, guess our boy Martin Day that I interviewed that he got knocked out at the end of the third. It turns out in those medical suspensions that Davey Grant, the guy that he was fighting, broken jaw. So our boy broke his fucking opponent's jaw, and the guy, because remember that shot that he landed at the end of the first? For those of you guys who were watching, he fucking blasted Grant at the end of the first, and he broke his jaw. And Grant fought through it. Nick Beams, you've had a broken jaw and a broken nose? Yeah, Till does have very heavy hands. He's just honestly his. Oh man, I love fucking Till, man. I love him, but he. Yeah, I mean, dude, the thing is, I don't really know what it is about why he does it, but I always, before he lost, would watch his fighting style and it would stress me out because, he's like one of these guys that's, doing this. And I completely understand that style. Like, I like doing that too. Like where, you kind of, instead of just living right here, it's like you're here, like from here, and then you can bring it in. And he fights, but he fought like that with his chin. Like, he would, when he would create space, like when a guy would come in, like a guy would start swinging at him, he would back up with his chin up. I was always like, Jesus, man. See, because I don't know. I always naturally kind of round my shoulders around my neck. And like when I'm, it's more of like a Muay Thai stance, but it's like, this is, you want to tuck your chin and your head inside of your shoulders. So then, but and you can do this and kind of still have your shoulders up. And then when you come back here, you turn into a turtle where he just kind of would back up like this. And I was always like, man, this guy's going to get fucking caught, man. He's going to get caught. And he did. Kelvin. Yeah, definitely Kelvin. Kelvin, he had a rough 19 minutes. So I'll say this about Kelvin though, like one of the themes that I talk about a lot is how are guys going to heal up, right? Hey, spot on picks. Clickbait, it's a medical suspension. Yeah, he's suspended for 6 months medically. Fucking idiot. How is that clickbait? 6 month suspension. Medically suspended for 6 months. How is that clickbait? Everybody else, when you tell Spot On Picks to go fuck himself. What's in the title? Yeah, Marty Usman has a 6 month medical suspension unless he gets a clear like nose break. I don't know, like he has to get a clean. What does it say here? A cleared nasal X-ray. I'll pay for a pay-per-view that he headlines, but that's just because I pay for all of them. Hermansson's a beast, but dude, honestly, Kelvin, it's one of those things like this is basically like what I talk about all the time is about how like a fighter is his body is a stock car, right? He's like a racer and his body's a stock car. And Kelvin is a fucking beast, but anytime that a guy fights and he has a fight where the end of the fight is him actually like collapsing, where like his body won't go anymore. Like think like Rory McDonald against Robbie Lawler or Tony Ferguson against Gaethje. Like a lot of times guys never come all the way back from that. And Kelvin had that against Izzy. Like against Israel Adesanya, that fight against Izzy, if you guys have not seen that, that was one of the most brutal fucking fights ever. I mean, like that, the end was my mind wants me to move forward. My body is collapsing. Like I've taken too much punishment to where my body literally won't do what I'm asking it to do. And if you really think about what that, like think about like the body, how the body works, how it goes, etc. Like, and then what causes it to just collapse, right? Like where you're telling it to go. And it's not like you got hit and you're knocked down and you're knocked out, but like you're getting hit with smaller shots and your body's collapsing. Just think about like the mechanics of your body and how much fucking punishment you have to take to have that be the case where you're going move forward and your body just kind of collapses underneath it. It's like, it's the brain, it's the nerve endings that connect to your spine. It's your muscles. It's all of it together. Like you have to get so fucked up for that to happen. Like Kelvin in the Izzy fight and Rory McDonald in that Lawler fight. And it's like, so we'll see if he ever comes back from that all the way. Because Darren Till just fought a really good defensive fight against him, but we'll see. Wait, look at the highlights from the Masvidal fight. Chin up, no head technique. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Gastelum? I love Conor McGregor. Usman has a 6-month medical suspension. Dude, you know what I saw? It's funny that you guys brought that up. I can't believe I forgot to do a video about this, about Usman calling out GSP. I'll probably actually do I'll do one. Okay, yeah, here, I'll talk about Darren Till. I'll talk about Darren Till related to that Masvidal thing in a second. But Usman called out GSP. You want to know what that is? That is genius. No, he did not get flagged by USADA. It's a medical suspension. But that's genius, right? Because listen, like, again, I mean, obviously another theme I've talked about on the channel a million times. Like, when you have the belt, you get paid tremendously more, and you get paid on the pay-per-views. So the number of pay-per-views dictates how much you get paid. So like, if you're Usman and you have the option of like, oh, maybe I'll fight Gilbert Burns and it'll be between me and him to sell this fight, and then hopefully Dana will hook me up with like a really vicious, co-main event. But I'm smart enough to know that I'm not a gigantic draw by myself yet, or whatever he's telling himself. But if I get GSP on this bitch, then I'm getting another paycheck just like I did for Fight Island, which is going to be fucking monumental, right? He probably, dude, with 1.3 million buys. My boy, the Accent, was telling me that it's a tiered system where they get paid a certain number of dollars per pay-per-view, to the whatever 200,000. It's tiered. So first 200,000 you get $2, 200 to 500 you get $5, or whatever it is. But at 1.3, I mean, dude, he's making, he probably made $8, $9, $10 million for this fight. Usman got 640 base salary. Then he gets points on the pay-per-view. His base was 640. So if not one person bought the pay-per-view, he would have made 640K. He probably made more like $8, $9, $10 million total. GSP, that's not a good matchup for GSP. If you look at GSP that wrestles constantly, like GSP does have a big striking advantage over Usman, I think. GSP was a fucking striker before he went to the Canadian wrestling team and became like an Olympic level fucking wrestler. Yeah, dude, GSP did that 185 fight because he had it's like exactly what we're talking about with Usman and Burns. Like, these guys know who's likely to win that fight. I mean, that's the thing, is like they know, right? And GSP had trained a bunch with Bisping, and he probably had literally never lost a round to Bisping. And so he's just like, wait, Bisping's the champion? Dude, I'll come back and take a fucking third, a 185-pound belt and, print. And his deal, he probably got a massive piece of the pay-per-view. So, he probably made $15 million, beat up a guy that he knew he could beat, and that was that. Yeah, I agree with you, Jacob. Like, Dana, I think GSP's future is going to be in like catch weight fights or like super fights where the belt's not on the line for that exact reason. Yeah, of course Usman got pay-per-view points. He's the fucking champion. The champions all get pay-per-view points. You get points on the pay-per-view if you are holding a belt currently, or you are a huge draw that has negotiated points on the pay-per-view, like Nate Diaz, Conor, Masvidal, George St. Pierre, guys like that. The GOAT, yeah, I do. GSP, I do. There's just never been anyone that's, you got to think about, when you think about like who's the GOAT, it's got to be, you got to consider like their body of work. And it's so rare for people to actually retire on top. like it just almost never happens. It almost never happens. Guys always deteriorate. They always lose the last, few fights of theirs because they love fighting. They're people, and like it's really the fight game, especially the fight game versus other sports, is like the difference in such a minuscule amount of like speed is the difference between a guy being unbeatable and a guy being very beatable. And you might not even feel it yourself. Like you really like might not even feel that you're just a hair slower. And, and so like these guys that were unbeatable, all of a sudden they're not. I mean, you look at like, wait, my prediction didn't come true. Wait, which prediction did I make that didn't come true? Yeah, because I didn't do any. The only prediction I made that didn't come true is that fucking Holloway was going to win. Holloway's the only one that I said he's going to win. The other ones were value bets, but Holloway I was pretty fucking confident was going to win for the exact reason that he did. Khabib definitely did not get $2 million to fight Conor. What's up, Jaden? Khabib 100% did not get $2 million to fight Conor. He made tremendously more than that. If getting popped for PEDs exclude you for the GOAT card, so I think so. I think it does. I mean, again, let me just actually go back to the Khabib thing. Everybody, like, just so that I can make sure that we perpetuate this information, because it's unbelievable how many people still don't know this. Like, when they say disclosed fighter salaries, that is just the disclosed amount that they have to report to the Nevada State Athletic Board. And if you were listening to Masvidal talking about his negotiation, he was even saying that he tried to negotiate no salary and take only back end. And the UFC said no, because they're mandated to report guaranteed fight pay to Nevada State Athletic Board or whoever it is. But yeah, so like these disclosed, but that is not what they make. Even like small time people, like guys that are making 20 and 20, they even make more than that because they get a piece of the sponsorship stuff. Like they get like their check from Reebok, whatever it is. Like everyone makes more money than what's disclosed. But yeah, in terms of the GOAT conversation, yeah, of course, dude. Like you can't have like John. I mean, obviously we're talking about Jon Jones. You can't piss hot for juice over and over and over, and then everyone just kind of like overlooks that and they're all, he's the greatest of all time, like, because he might be the greatest of all time, but the greatest of all time conversation is not about just skills. It's about legacy. And Jon Jones, in his biggest fight, that's the other thing, in his biggest fight, the biggest fight of all, which was DC Jon Jones Part 2. Everyone just literally like forgets the fact that he pissed hot and that turned into a no contest. I mean, like that fight literally does not count per the record books, okay? Doesn't count. Does not count. He pissed hot, right? Knocks out DC, destroys DC's legacy, right? Destroys DC's legacy because in DC's biggest fight, with everybody watching, he takes a head kick and gets beaten until he's unconscious. That's what everyone remembers. Okay, no one remembers that the next day, fucking Jon Jones pissed hot, got stripped of the belt, was given back to DC, and that's considered a no contest. Like, that, how can the guy who's on the wrong side of that story be the GOAT, right? He basically, with that entire thing, so you want to talk about who would have been the GOAT if it wasn't for fucking Jon Jones? DC would be the GOAT. He was undefeated at heavyweight, went down to light heavyweight. If it wasn't for Jon Jones, he would have never lost at light heavyweight. Then he went up to heavyweight. He won the belt by first round knockout at heavyweight. Without Jon Jones, DC's the GOAT. I mean, without question. So Jon Jones is just a destructive force that's just out to like ruin everybody's fucking GOAT chances. Cormier is better than Jones. What? No, not listening. What I'm saying, I said the GOAT conversation about legacy, right? It's not necessarily saying like this guy could beat anyone from any time necessarily, because there's no way to prove that one way or the other. It's you look at a guy's body of work for his career, and that's it. Like that's the whole thing about the Michael Jordan versus LeBron James conversation. There is no conversation about that. Like there is nothing to talk about. Like when you're talking about the greatest, like no one's saying that like Michael Jordan would beat LeBron in one-on-one 10 times out of 10. Like no one is saying that. Like you're talking about the guy's legacy as a professional athlete. And you have Michael Jordan drafted to a team that was a laughingstock of the NBA, built a team around him, then became the most dominant force in the history of the sport. They won, with him there for the full season, they won 6 consecutive fucking titles, okay? He's never lost in the finals. His stats are identical to LeBron's. LeBron couldn't win in Cleveland. He went to Miami and built a super team. They won there. LeBron has lost in the finals like how many times? Like so, and he's just bounced around to different teams. It's just in terms of like greatest, like the greatest, and how you would define that in terms of legacy. There's no conversation. Like there is no fucking conversation there. No. Usman has a medical suspension, 6 months. Exactly. Yes, actually, Freeze, you're right. People do make up their own definition of GOAT. Yes, exactly. 100%. So someone could easily, passionately argue the other way that LeBron's the GOAT. I would disagree with them passionately, but there's no definitive answer. That's like the whole point. You know what I mean? So yeah, people make up their own definition of GOAT. Yes. In mine, wait, hold on. Records and stats are undeniable. Are you implying that LeBron is the GOAT? Because what's your criteria? Right? Like that. What's your criteria? Because I don't think if it's record and stats that's one that you're gonna be able to pull a definitive edge from. And by the way, if anybody hasn't watched The Last Dance on ESPN, the 6-part series, and then they're going to enter into a GOAT conversation about LeBron versus Jordan, save it. Go watch that first, then come back and we can talk about it. Yes, of course. Like I said, James, I said 6 consecutive while he was there for the full season. Okay, 3 straight, retired, came back halfway through season after that. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost, and then the next season was the next 3. So 6 consecutive seasons where Michael Jordan was on the team from the beginning of the season to the end. If Khabib beats Gaethje, beats Tony, beats Conor again, then yeah, he's for sure in the GOAT conversation. Usman has a 6-month medical suspension unless he gets a clean something or other. The tougher competition thing is I don't even understand that conversation though. Like the thing I've heard from people is they're like, oh, look at like Jordan had such a better team around him. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like what Jordan built all those guys. Like that's the thing that people don't understand is that the difference is like if you watch The Last Dance, that's like the whole thing. Is like LeBron went to Miami where he had Dwyane Wade, Chris Bosh. Those are like established players. Jordan built these fucking guys. Like Jordan turned these guys into what they were. Again, just watch the documentary. Just watch it. Matt Hughes, no talk of Matt Hughes. But I will say that I think Matt Hughes put himself on those train tracks. Just as a side note, I think that he was trying to. Do that to himself, and he failed. Jordan played for Sacramento. Wait, played for Sacramento? No, he didn't play for Sacramento. He played for the Wizards. Put the 6-month suspension in the title so people aren't. That's what I did. I said Usman out for 6 months. I said Kamaru Usman, 6-month suspension. UFC Fantasy DraftKings already has it. It's dumb. Thank you, Rover. Dude, Kobe is the fucking man. If you guys have not seen the movie Kobe Bryant Muse, that is literally one of the best, if not the best sports documentary ever made. Venom for medical suspension. 6 months. Do I think Conor became insecure ex-retired right after Amada defend both? What? Insecure. I'm sorry, Saeed. I don't understand the question. Rewrite it and I'll answer. Oh wait, insecure acts retired right. I don't know, man. You're copying and pasting that question, but I don't understand. I don't really understand exactly what you're asking. Do I think the death of Khabib's father will affect him enough that? So here's what I think about that, Jaden. I think that I've made no secret. I think the only person that has any chance of beating Khabib is Gaethje, and I've said that before Gaethje fought Ferguson. I don't think anyone else has any shot at beating him. Like I think he's gonna run through Conor again. I don't think there's anything Conor's gonna do that's gonna be that much different. I don't think Tony has a shot. I think Gaethje's the only one who has a shot, and I think that now because Abdullah died, I think that even if Gaethje does win, it's gonna take away from that loss, and then Khabib will get an immediate rematch. It depends on how things play out with Conor, but he'll get a pass on that. So if he does lose to Gaethje, he'll get 2 shots at it. And people won't hold it against him if he does lose, which sucks for Gaethje. Fucking sucks for Gaethje, but it is what it is. I mean, Kobe better than LeBron? No, but that's an interesting question too, given the criteria that I laid out, because Kobe is way more like Jordan than LeBron is in terms of staying with a team, building the team around him. I mean, Kobe tried to model himself after Jordan, top to bottom. Suspended medical suspension. George did more damage than Colby with the. I'm not going to say that because Colby gave Usman a better fight for sure. Khabib's legacy said if he loses to Justin, now it doesn't mean as much as before. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he gets a pass for it now, right? He gets one pass. Like he'll get one pass. Like if he loses this particular fight, he'll definitely get a pass. Well, a well-earned one, candidly. But that's it. If he loses again, because this is the thing, like I've always said, like I'm telling you guys right now, I think Khabib is the best 155-pound fighter, period. Like I think he stomps Conor again. I think he stomps Tony. And then I think that, but Gaethje is the only one that can beat him. But like if he loses to Gaethje, like by knockout as an example, and then, so I don't know, something, because like he hasn't cleared the division out. He just hasn't. Like he still needs to beat Gaethje, still needs to beat Tony Ferguson, and those are 2 of the top 3 guys. So like it's not like other champions who have completely cleared the division out. So yeah, I mean, he'll get a pass, but he's gonna have to beat him if he wants to be, in the GOAT conversation, or sorry, this is how distracted I get. Literally, like one guy wrote this stupid shit. Literally wrote "you're gay ass," and that broke my brain. So I'm like, oh yeah, how about I fucking smash your head through this table? Autopilot, like a fucking amoeba. Like that's how easy it is to piss me off. Like it's like literally the stupidest shit talk ever. You're gay ass. And I'm like, oh yeah? How about I take my fucking fingers and put them in your mouth, pick you up, and then smash your head through the table? How about that? That's where my brain goes, to that stupid thing. Oh, it's embarrassing. Anyway, he will honor his father by winning. I agree. People don't care if his dad died. Yes, they do. Tony 5 years ago would have beat Khabib. How can you say that? There's no indication that the Tony that fought Gaethje is any less than Tony 3-4 years ago. I have no idea about the Venom deal and no context whatsoever of what it is. I think that my guess is that these big deals probably benefit. Actually, I don't know, man. I have no fucking idea because I don't know how much. I remember I almost so when I was running MLF, I was going to sponsor Joe Riggs. I think we were going to pay him like $4,000, like $4,000 to like be kind of like the front of his shorts, if I'm remembering correctly. But I don't know, I don't know how much these guys make, like how much they would make if they were able to negotiate their own deals versus how much they make when the UFC does it with one big brand. Does Venom have good shit? I'm going to check their stuff out because 4chan is watching. I don't even know what that means. Let me check out Venom's clothes. Look at that. Their deal is working already. Look at that. They're already working. Like I'm already looking to buy their shit. I like their fucking logo. That logo is sick, dude. All right, let's see. T-shirts. You guys can choose. Dude, I wish there was a way for me to share my screen, man. Like, so I could show you guys this fucking intro that I was doing. Do I think Conor become insecure? Axe retired right after. I still don't understand what you're asking me, dude. Amada became the first one to defend both titles simultaneously. Who defended both titles simultaneously? Joe Riggs and Nick Diaz hospital. How great is that story? Yeah, first gen Rex. We've discussed that it's medical suspension. I think Khabib versus Gaethje might still happen in September. We'll see. Oh shit! I just lost. You saw Diesel on Bare Knuckle the other day? Oh yeah. He's that guy is just ultimate wasted talent, man. Joe Riggs, I loved that guy, man. But like, the guy has a ruthless pills problem. I mean, you could just if that guy would have been sober through his prime, he would have been so vicious, man. So vicious. Let's see. Cyborg will not come back to the UFC. That's correct. Dude, Dana, if you cross Dana and you don't have like serious leverage, he will fucking bury you and you'll never come back. Like, do you guys remember in, I don't know, this might be before a lot of your guys' time, but Ultimate Fighter Season 1? So Season 1 of Ultimate Fighter, it was literally the very first fight, I believe, or at least like the first round of fights. And this guy, Bobby something or other, he fought and he clearly won this fight. And the judges fucked him and gave it to the other guy. And he was so pissed. And, at the time, the Ultimate Fighter, they thought that they were all fighting for a single contract, right? Like all of them really believed that it was like, one of us is going to get this contract and the rest of us are fucked. So he's in the locker room and he believes that like his dream's over because he got fucked by the judges. And Dana's back there trying to talk to him. And this is back when Dana was still like in a suit and shit, like, playing it all, before he like, that now he's exactly what he actually is. And the guy and Dana was like, listen, man, it's a bullshit decision. Bobby's like, I don't want to talk to you right now, Dana. And Dana's like, he's like, dude, you understand I am the UFC. Like, if you want to fight in the UFC. And he literally was like, he's like, I don't want to talk, Dana. He's like, I'm not talking to you right now, Dana. And just completely fucking just was like super dismissive with Dana. That's one of the things that I respect about Dana a lot is Dana literally just looked at him. He's like, all right. And then every other guy from Ultimate Fighter fought in the UFC except that fucking guy. Because he ran his mouth. He was disrespectful. Plain and simple. I mean, Dana was trying to be nice. Dana's like, I agree with that it's a bullshit decision. I'm going to take care of you. And he told him to fuck off. He's like, okay. No. Yeah. No, you're right. Fuck off. Perfect. You're right. I'm going to fuck off. You go do your life. I'm going to fuck off. And I'll make sure that I stay fucked off. And then you can go and have all the success in the world over here, you know? But I'll be fucked off over here, you know, in UFC, where you won't be. Joe Riggs is looking good in bare knuckle because he's fighting against laughably inferior opponents. Suga has never beat a ranked opponent. That's true, but he has walked through everybody he's fought. So, like, that's true. He doesn't have a ranked win, but, dude, I mean, he's made all of them look like they're in a different league. Like, he just fucking walks through them. Tony's 12-fight win streak was over guys who were just short of being elite. That is not inaccurate. I have looked at that. But, like, I don't know. Not necessarily. I mean, like, at the time, like, Kevin Lee at the time was on a big streak and was awesome. But, I mean, that's actually... Like, Tony Ferguson actually kind of started the decline for a lot of these guys. What do I think about D Wade? I assume you're asking about his kid, like how he. I'll tell you exactly what I think of D Wade. So first, if you guys are hang on for 1 second. Jesus Christ. Hey, guys, whatever you're doing, not right here. Jesus. Anyway, but yeah, like in terms of D Wade, like his wife, Gabrielle Union, I think is her name or whatever. She was on America's Got Talent, and she was. Just go Google her history with that TV show and how, like, she literally was, like, accusing everyone of, like, racism, all this stuff where all of them are just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we have all kinds of black staff here. No one agrees with you. Like, literally no one agrees with you that there's any kind of, like, bigotry or favoritism, anything like that. This is just you by yourself making these accusations. No one agrees with you. And they ended up getting rid of her because she was a problem, because she was just causing havoc. Like, that's the thing. Like, okay, just because the chaos or the conflict that you're causing is done in a way where you're accusing people of, something that everybody can agree on is is an issue that we all want to, like, do well at, right? Like, no one wants to, like being a racist is literally the fucking worst thing you can do. Like, it's like the worst thing you can be. There's, like, pedophile, racist. I mean, they're pretty fucking close on the hierarchy of pieces of shit, right? So, like, just because you say that the conflict that you're creating inside of an organization or, like, on a team is done so because you want to fight racism, that doesn't make you any less of a problem if there isn't actual racism happening. Okay, like, so these people like her think that you can just throw that accusation out and that gives you, like, carte blanche to just get whatever you want, say whatever you want, accuse whoever you want of anything, and everybody just has to back off because you put it inside of a shell of anti-racism. But guess what? If that's not real, if what you're accusing people of is not actually happening, then all you are is a problem, right? Like, you're just a problem. Like, you're the problem. You're the fucking problem. And that's exactly that's like the network looked into it. Like, she filed a lawsuit. They dismissed it. Like, it's just like every person who took a third party view of this thing was like, nope, there's no merit to anything that you're accusing them of. So that's Dwyane Wade's wife. Okay. So she's, like, full bought in, all the way in with that ideology that's that. So then when I see, the thing with his family, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, listen, like, my cousin's gay. One of my best friends is gay. I lived with a dude who's gay, like when I was in college. Like this is not like it's a fact of life. Like, but like the fact that her kid, who's clearly gay, would jump to, oh, I'm trans, and then they would like fully support it, whether or not he is. I mean, I'm not even saying that he's not or she's not, whatever. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying their public reaction to it is very, very unsurprising, because that is directly in line with that ideology. Is like, you know, they're so predictable. Like people in general are so predictable. That's why I just never will put myself in the category of like Democrat or Republican or whatever, is because I don't want anyone to think that they can make assumptions about me and like what my opinions on things are just based on some fucking category that I'm in. Like, oh, he's a blah, blah, blah. That means that he thinks blah, blah, blah. That'll never apply to me. Never. Now, you might be able to look at me and be like, this guy probably is, he probably owns guns. I mean, given that he's got a shirt with guns on right now. But yeah, he's probably owns guns. But does that mean that just because I own guns, that means I think that fucking climate change is a hoax? Nope. Okay? Because I'm not a categories guy. I can look at each individual thing and make my own decision about it, which is how everyone should operate. And Dwyane Wade, to me, just looks like a dude who doesn't know how to control his wife, who has his wife just in his fucking ear all day to where he doesn't even know which way is up anymore. He's like, yeah, like, you know, what she said is right. You know, you're like, what's in your bank account, my dude? Like, see, I mean, I'm not genuinely asking, like, how much money do you have? Like, what's your net worth? You know, $150 million. Okay. And so do you see any issue with categorizing yourself as being oppressed or having not had opportunities in this country? I'm just talking about you. I'm not talking about anyone else. Just you personally. Like, right? Like, no one's discounting any of the history in the country. No one's discounting what other people go through in the country. But do you see any problem with you personally calling yourself oppressed? Like, do you really think that you have a harder go at life than other Americans because you're black? I mean, do you really believe that? You have $160 million. I mean, I would love to hear you try to defend that, my dude, because all of this stuff is real. It's just, you're just not a very credible source to be talking about oppression, because you're the opposite of oppressed. You are in the 0.00001%. I don't know. That's what I think of Dwyane Wade. Henry Cejudo defended both. Correct. Henry Cejudo did defend both. Sorry, I'm probably way behind now. I'm gonna try to catch up here. Yeah. Riggs had a major opioids problem. The demand for races exceeds the supply. Exactly correct. That is exactly correct. It exceeds, you know, and like, here's the thing, like we're going to go down a whole different deal. All right. So here's the thing. So you have two things at play right now. Okay. Maybe more, but two for sure, which is you have genuine grievances that should exist in those communities, as in, like, you know, very, very short period ago, they did not have the rights that other people had, period. That's just a fact. Like, and you're talking like, you know, inside of like, you know, my parents' generation, that was the case. So like, there is a reason why there is tremendous poverty in those groups. They have legitimate beef there. The problem is that you also have radical Marxists whose entire goal is to dismantle the United States from the inside, who have connected themselves and injected themselves into these communities and these movements, and they've tied legitimate grievances to this underlying insidious thing where they're trying to poison the country from the inside out. And like, I can give you a million examples of this, but like, if anybody didn't see the like this document came out of this government museum the other day, and it was talking about what traits you can attribute to whiteness. Literally, this is exactly what it says. Like you can pull it up, like, museum whiteness. And it says that these things are all colonial concepts that white people bestowed on native people, and you're talking about like so they're saying that these are bad things, right? There's like following schedules, being holding yourself accountable, like being independently driven, like your success is driven by your bank account, like just all the, and that's not even good, like all these things that basically make a society run. They were characterizing them as like a bad thing, like is like these are all just examples of whiteness, and you're like, what is this? Like, what? Okay, so if we got rid of these things, what would happen? It's like, oh, society would implode, right? And that's where you see like that's where you get like defund the police. Like, do you think that, like, okay, black people in the inner cities are universal. They want more police. Okay, all of like they want more police. That's where all the murderers are. Like, why would they want less police? That doesn't make any fucking sense. The defund the police thing is these Marxists who are trying to literally destroy the country. Plain and simple. They want to tear down our institutions so they can rebuild them the way that they want with this. I mean, this is not a conspiracy. This is a fact that this is what's happening. So, it's really hard to untangle those things, because when like I was saying about the accusation, where it's like when you cloak an accusation in, oh, that's racist. And then it's like, oh, well, I hate racism too. So, yeah, I'm on your side, and you never even look at what's inside the ball. It's like, here's a ball that says you're racist. And you're like, yeah, I'm down with that. And it's like, anybody want to open the ball and see what's actually in there? And you open it and it's like, this person said that they like to eat at Subway. And you're like, it's racist because Subway is for white people. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why didn't you let me see what was in the ball before I said I was fucking on board with this? What the hell are you talking about? Right? And so it's like, so you have this, it's very challenging to detangle the shit that is just cloaked in it being a racist thing versus the things that are actually like race-driven things that we should address, right? Defund the police, dude, that's you opening the ball, and it's like, anti-racism, and you open the ball, it's like, so let's get rid of police officers. Like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Get rid of the police? Yeah, here, you could take this fucking ball and go throw it in the fucking ocean. What the fuck are you talking about? And only the most soft-minded dumb fucks. Like, because here's the thing, is like, the people who are soft-minded can't think for themselves. They can't decouple those things because they aren't oppressed themselves, right? Like, they're not personally oppressed. So they're not personally dealing with these challenges. They are very privileged. They know it. And so they're trying to operate from a perspective of like, how do I help these people while not really understanding what's going on there? So they have an idea that comes out of that area. They have no ability to gauge it because they're not from there. And so it's cloaked in the anti-racism. They're like, yeah, whatever's in here, I'm fucking in. Absolutely. Defund the police. Let's do it. And you're like, okay, but what's in that box came from Marxists. That didn't come from people who are worried about police brutality. Like, that came from people who are openly saying they want to deconstruct the American society. How about you open the fucking ball before you get on board and start voting for things that you don't understand? It's ridiculous, man. Divide and conquer is exactly right. That is exactly fucking right. And all this is a distraction from the child fuckers. Yeah. Dude, honestly, so here's the thing too, like, is on that, like the example that I give when I talk about this to other people is I'm like, so basically, when you have people who say that their platform is anti-racism, right? And then you're like, okay, so what do you think we should do with college campuses? They're like, well, we should give people of color their own dorms so they can live by themselves and feel comfortable by themselves. You're like, okay, so you're anti-racist and your objective is to segregate by race, right? That's what you're saying. Well, yes, because people of color, they want to live by themselves. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. You're like, okay, so what reason do you think that white people gave when they wanted to segregate cities? Right? Like, is there a reason that would justify segregation again? Because, so what basically what that example is like me being like, all right, So who's anti-pedophilia? And everyone's like, me. You're like, okay, so is anybody pro-pedophilia? Like, of course not. You're like, all right, great. So anti-pedophilia group. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go get a school bus full of 7-year-olds. We're going to drive them to the special needs yard at San Quentin, which is populated exclusively with sex offenders. And we're going to give one 7-year-old to each sex offender. And the sex offender is going to take them to their cell where they'll be unsupervised. And they're going to talk to the 7-year-old about their problems. And we think that that's going to help them work out their pedophilia. Like, you know, it's therapy. It's therapy for the sex offender. Like, we're just going to give them a 7-year-old. They're going to go talk to them. There won't be supervision, but they'll talk their problems out. Like, that's what they're going to do. And you're like, that's a terrible idea. What the fuck are you talking about? They're like, oh, so you're pro-pedophilia? I'm sorry. What did you say? You said that's a terrible idea. Well, all I'm hearing is I am pro-pedophilia because we're anti-pedophilia and we're the ones who came up with that idea. So if you're against that idea, then you must be pro-pedophilia, right? Because that's how we think here. Binary, no logic. That is what they're doing. Like, that is literally what is happening. We're anti-racist, so here are ideas that you just have to get on board with, because otherwise that means you're pro-racism, even if the ideas are absolutely awful. Right? So, as a matter of fact, my crew, our crew, anytime that you guys see an idea that is utterly ludicrous in response to any of the stuff that we're talking about, just comment pro-pedophilia. Just be like, oh, they're pro-pedophilia. And that is code for absolutely idiotic idea. Like, idiotic idea, clearly, probably Marxist trying to tear down the country. But, whoops. What the hell just happened? The fuck? Oh, sorry about that. We had got disconnected there for a second. But, yeah. Dude, look at, this is what I'm saying. Paprika. BLM, as it was, like, in 2015, is not doing that. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not the real Black Lives Matter people that are doing that. It's like, that's why you're having, like, all these Black Lives Matter people, like, quit. Like, they're quitting because Black Lives Matter really was starting. Now, we can get into the statistics on police shootings and all that. And, like, obviously there, you know, it's a whole other conversation I'm not doing today. But, like, but the people that started that is not who's even running Black Lives Matter now. Now, Black Lives Matter legitimately is a Marxist organization that is trying to, like, revolt and tear down every American institution. They're not even hiding that. Like, they're just openly saying it. Maxwell going to take the fall for Epstein. I mean, Epstein's dead. So, you know. Dude, honestly, right wing, left wing, that's the funniest thing about it is, like, I'm talking about the far left, and then you can talk about the far right. They have identical ideas. Like, they literally have, like, identical ideas. The far left, far right, they may as well be one party now. They just don't even realize it. They think that they're the ultimate enemies. They literally think the exact same things. Yuri Bezmenov. Oh yeah, no, exactly. Okay, so okay. See, you guys are just like a screen name. So I don't know who's what, like, to a point. Now I know Hammer of Crom knows what the fuck he's talking about. That is exactly right. That is exactly fucking right. Go watch that. Go watch the Yuri Bezmenov interview from 1984 and then tell me that we are not in year 20 of a 40-year plan. It's like he may as well have written a fucking movie script that we are living out right now. Literally. Like anybody who doubts the Marxist thing and that this is a strategic attack coming from either China or Russia or both, you know, this mind virus that they're perpetuating. If you don't believe that, I am telling you right now, go watch that exact video that he just laid out, the Yuri Bezmenov one. And I mean, there's no intelligent person that could watch that, look at when the interview happened, and then have any doubt in their mind that that's what's going on. Top 10 uncrowned UFC fighter. Fuck, kill, marry. Marry, fuck, kill. Wait, hang on. Okay, so marry, fuck, kill. Top 10 uncrowned UFC fighter. Let's see. Fuck Paige Van Zandt. Marry. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Fuck. Oh, God. I can't even remember her name. Whatever. I'd marry Paige Van Zandt, like, you know, if I had to marry one of them. And then kill. Shit. I don't know. I like everybody. I don't know. I can't pick anyone to kill. I like them all. Paul King, look at you. That's correct. I mean, correct. That's exactly how I feel about it. That's exactly how I feel about it. If I was going to guess the nature of our reality, geez, this live stream has gone off the fucking rails. But if I was going to guess the nature of our reality, it would be something along the lines of, you know, anybody who's used VR and hasn't immediately considered that the likelihood that we're in some form of a simulation is almost, I mean, like, it seems so. As soon as you use real VR, if you're not instantly like, so we're probably in some form of a simulation, because what is this technology that's on my head right now that is telling every sense that I have that I'm flying through New York and it feels completely real? What is this technology and experience 300 or 400, 500 years from now? Like, I mean, it'll be indistinguishable from how you would experience life. And so one of the theories that I've actually had is if you can get inside of someone's kind of brain and make them experience something like this or whatever it is, you could actually have the way that people interpret time adjusted to where you could basically live what would seem like 80 years in like 5 minutes. You know, we're like, we experience 80 years, and in, you know, your real life, it's like 5 minutes. And that would actually basically be, depending on how you look at it, the answer to us being immortal, because you could live uncountable lives, right? Like in the amount of time but that is utter hypothesis. I realize I should do DMT. I actually tried to get it. I apparently called some kind of like DEA hotline, because after the guy talked to me, he was like, "You seem like a smart guy, man." He's like, "I'm just going to leave you off this list that we would normally put you on." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, all right." I didn't know it was illegal. I didn't know if it was legal, illegal, whatever. The Mandela effect. No, but I've looked into the Ferguson effect. Okay, top 10 uncrowned UFC fighters, like that just don't have a belt. Top 10 that don't have a belt. Time is an illusion. Well, yeah, like I was saying, 5 minutes, 80 years. If you experience it as 80 years, then yes, Jacob C, correct. Put me back in and let me enjoy my steak. No, Inception is dreams, yo. What makes everything meaningless? The title should have been Kamaru Usman, Business Practices, Religion, Politics, Space, and Any Tangents That Occur. Yeah, absolutely. You didn't get it. You forgot simulation theory. Top 10. I know, but I don't understand what that means by uncrowned. Like the top 10 that don't have a belt. Oh, okay. Top 10 that don't have a belt. All right. So, Max Holloway, for sure. Aljamain Sterling. Cody Garbrandt. That's a bias one. Conor McGregor. Oh, speaking of that, speaking of tangents. So, did you guys know that? So someone asked Dana about the Masvidal versus Conor fight, and Dana was like, "Guys, Conor is retired," and they're like, "Well, is Conor still in the USADA testing pool?" And Dana kind of had this like, "Yeah, but lots of fighters, stay in the, they retire and they stay in the USADA testing pool, then they get tired of it and they stop." And I'm like, okay. So Conor's still being actively tested by USADA as if he was an active fighter. He's not. I mean, we all knew this anyway, but that's a dead giveaway, dude. He's not retired. Does Sterling beat Jan? I don't know, man. That is an interesting fight because Sterling, I think Sterling has such a huge grappling advantage. I think Sterling's grappling advantage is bigger than Jan's striking advantage, but it's hard to say, man. Those two guys are killing machines. Benavidez, concussion symptoms like depression, headaches, emotional. I think he's gonna. Dude, let me tell you this. So I've watched a bunch of interviews with Benavidez, and Jesus, I'm the most giving guy. Like next time, I should be like, hey, if you guys want me to talk about string theory, I need you guys to super chat me a question about it. Anyway, so. But like the thing about Benavidez is, like Mike Tyson said that the most dangerous fighter that people think it's like the surly, like the Sonny Liston type fighter, and he was like, nah, man. He's like, it's the happy fighter. The happy fighter is the most dangerous one. Think Amanda Nunes, happiest girl on earth. She's in there like. Her face when she's fighting is the best thing ever. I've never seen a guy with a look like that on their face while they fight, dude. It's like it's the best. It's amazing. Like she's literally looking at them like she thinks that they're having fun together, and it's only her. Like because she's like, God, I love pounding this fucking bitch's face. And she's like, oh, nice try. Blah! Oh, it's just the best, dude. And so anyway, Benavidez strikes me as like the exact opposite of that. Like Benavidez is like, if I make myself care as deeply as I can and I train as hard as I can, then I can win, right? He's like, there's nothing relaxed about Benavidez, man. Like he wants it so bad. Usman is a medical suspension, his nose. But yeah, man, it's like, Benavidez, he wants it too much, I know I can do it. And someone loose comes in and they're like, oh, you're going to do it? Oh, you're going to do it? Ah! Oh, you look real mad, Benavidez. Ah. Anywho. That's why I would bet against him. He looks too amped up. Know what I'm saying? When you love what you do, you never work another day. That's a fact, my man. Hammer of Cron. Okay, wait. What did High as Fuck say? Someone asked what the interview was. Wait, what? Oh, first gen. Thanks, bro. Dude, you guys want to know something crazy? You know how much YouTube takes of super chats? I found this out. Like they take 35%. So for every $10 that someone, puts in, or better example, so every $100 someone puts in, YouTube keeps 35. Isn't that nuts? That's why people are like, I guess people figure out ways to run different, different streaming services that don't, take 35% or whatever. But it's not like, I'm until this is literally like what I do. Like this is like what I do. You know, I do this because I love you guys. But the money is fucking awesome. Like you know, look at my thing. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna buy a shoes on my subs, dude. What's up? You guys can pick me out some shoes that I'll buy once. Oh, look at that. And oh, serendipity, dude. First Gen has a boot as the thing. I'm a shoe fucking whore. Like I have more pairs of shoes than any man on earth should have. I can't help it. It's literally like the only fucking like type of clothing where I can't help it. I fucking love shoes, man. All right, hold on. So Venom clothing. Let's look at this shit. It's just such a sick logo, dude. Like, oh, they have like legit, like fight gear. Like they have like, you know, grappling rash guards and stuff. And then they also have, oh dude, I'm going to buy one of these. Yeah, I'm going to definitely do that. So let me ask you guys, you know, early subs that I can strategize with. So when this thing gets big, right? Like when this is like a big ass channel and I do these fucking live streams and I've got 10,000 people watching, and then, you know, like actually having good strategy in terms of generating revenue is like important. How do people do it that you guys see that you're like, you know, that's like clever, you know, or not even just clever, just like where it doesn't feel like the fucking guy is trying to milk money out of his subs, and then also, you know, where like he's being good. It's like he's being a good business guy where he's obviously trying to generate money, but simultaneously he's not like, doesn't make it feel like he's like trying to extract money from the subs. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm doing a good job explaining that, but like, what do people do where people feel like, oh, you know, like I want to give, you know, like I want to do that, and it doesn't feel like he's like trying to like milk me for cash. Anyway. Oh, thanks, Jacob. That really was not me asking for money. I'm genuinely curious, like what you guys have seen work. What kind of shoe brands? Dude, I am fucking all about, dude, Reebok right now. So I got the Reebok Zig Connecticas because they're like the Conor McGregor shoes, and so I snapped them up right when they got released, and they are seriously the best fucking shoes ever. Like not just like they look sick, but they're so comfortable. They're so fucking sturdy. They're just dope ass shoes, man. Like they're just dope ass shoes. And so I went and bought another pair of Reeboks. They're also the Zigs, but they're not the Zig Connecticas, and they are also so sick, dude. But I have all kinds of shoes. Anyway. I have some Gucci shoes. I have one pair of Louis Vuitton shoes. I have, I like Hugo Boss shoes, actually. All right, hold on. Let me show you guys these, because these shoes are the shit. Someone said quality over quantity. Yeah, I mean, dude, I only try to do videos when I actually have a real topic to do it on. Like I don't like, you know, I watch like Shale is like, he's crushing content because he's crushing views. But I look at some of his topics, I'm like, he didn't want to do a video about that. He just wanted to get a video out. But like these shoes, dude. Oh, they're on sale right now too at Dick's. Come on, motherfucker. The fuck? These are, I will swear by these shoes, dude. Like if you get those and you don't, and like they're not like the most comfortable fucking shoes you ever put on, I will disagree. I'm going to get some t-shirts designed. Oh, yeah? All right. I got to run, fellas. This was fun. Thank you guys very much. Chillster, much appreciated. Thank you so much, my man. I just don't want to sign off. I want to make sure that this gets on.